What's up, guys? Fonz, Foxy, and Tina. Can you hear me? Sweet. We'll get started in about 15 minutes. Until then, I can just mess around. If you have any questions beforehand, feel free to shoot them my way. LNC on Hit Bitcoin. What even is LNC? What is LNC? Linker coin. Oh, is it Block Lancer or Linker coin? Or are they the same thing? See, yeah, 2 million market. Okay, Linker. So not Block Lancer is what you're saying. Linker coin. Alright, slightly larger. 10 million market cap. Only 112 out of 500,000 circulating supply. Interesting. Well, the market cap looks nice, but let's look at what's going on. So it's only trading on HitBTC. Let's look at what's going on the website. Probably need to translate it, won't I? Oh, no, we're good. We're good. What is Linker Coin? Facilitate the internet between Linker Coin and various economic networks built on cryptocurrency market. Provides several types of linker. So yeah, they do a bunch of airdrops, which is kind of a marketing ploy most of the time. Yeah. This is just, you get some if you hold this, and you get some more if you hold this. So if you hold both, then you get lots. Let's see, ICO, 14,000 ETH hard cap. Right. Specific descriptions. Alright, what is the road? Where's the roadmap? Alright. So they're making an exchange, and the idea by the end of the year is to have an exchange for trading smart contracts for like bets and options. Okay, that's kind of cool. I don't know. I don't think that exists yet. it might exist. I don't know if you guys have heard of anything that's the same as that. Alright, let's see. Who are these guys? Co-founder, market maker. Just advertise yourself as a market maker. Alright. Berkeley School of Business. Master of Financial Engineering. Alright, so he's the FinTech master. He definitely has the background. See, this guy is investments in securities, electronic engineering, interesting. So consulting, AT Kearney is a great management consulting company, so he's definitely leadership-y. What does it mean when they're saying a market maker? He's a market maker? Never seen that. PhD in engineering, robotics. I'm not sure why that would be necessary, but masters of financial. So okay, so these guys, it seems pretty legit. I've only spent. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize I was disconnected. I've only spent, 5 minutes looking at it, but I'd have to go more in depth and read the white paper to see. Have you heard anything about any exchange listings happening or anything like that? Also, I guess they're doing a bunch more airdrops. It's kind of weird that they're doing that, all these airdrops. It's like, all that is a marketing play, right? And all that's really gonna do is make the value of both projects kind of go down. The only way for essentially, economically speaking, the only way for you to break even is to have an equal amount of both. So, when they deflate in value, you see what's going on with this.
Was coined by Vinton Gray Cerf and Robert E. Bob Kahn. Cerf and Kahn envisioned Internet as a network of networks, that is an internetwork which connects all computers around the world. But is our world linked with a unified network? No, it isn't.
God,
even in the world
so
of information, every social organization or element is bound by the government regulations of the
blah 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 blockchain,
and have as an
blockchain.
ultimate goal the establishment of a complete network. Each ecosystem can be the world's largest casino, job market, esport platform, healthcare platform, financial platform, or even a more integrated platform. But is our world moving towards the era of complete network? No, it isn't. Too many issuances of new coins have fragmented the virtual ecosystem into several networks. The Linker project suggests a feasible solution to rectify the above anomaly. ERC20 tokens, cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Litecoin, and pegged cryptocurrencies will be exchangeable through Linker Coin. And the Linker coin will be exchangeable with fiat currencies through the cryptocurrency exchange.
So essentially what they're doing is they're making an exchange and a platform to they're making an exchange and a platform for as a substitution for atomic swaps. So you can do cross-chain. You can link value across chain. You won't be able to link information. So this isn't like interoperability alliance with ICX and Aeon and whatnot, where you'll be able to actually exchange information cross-chain. This is just being able to exchange value, I guess, with the Linker coin. So you'll be able to, if you have Bitcoin and you want to exchange it for Litecoin, you do so somehow through the Linker coin. But you can also I guess you have smart contracts.
Change.
A little bit more into
Linker
it.
project links existing coin-centered virtual networks to create a unified virtual ecosystem. The ERC20 token and the Linker coin will create escrows in the decentralized exchange, DEX, in order to start the intertransactions. The intertransactions will be executed when both sides' prices and quantities meet at the equilibrium. Unlike pre-existing cryptocurrency exchanges, faster and more transparent transactions are guaranteed due to the elimination of the intermediary party. The main focus of the Linker project is to assume the role of liquidity provider through the cryptocurrency exchange, which will be run by the Linker project.
Oh, okay, so that makes more sense why the advisors have, you know, market maker, why they have market maker listed as their like thing, because market makers are essentially liquidity providers for the market. And this whole idea is that they're providing liquidity, so you don't have to, I guess, wait, and that's all fast.
Linker coin owners will be able to exchange Linker coins with other cryptocurrencies or tokens, as well as with fiat currencies. The purpose of the Linker project is the establishment of a network of networks. Through this framework, Linker coin will be globally accepted as a mediator coin and will be highly valued in the cryptocurrency market.
So, you know, there's other projects that are doing kind of similar shit. Obviously, there's the Interoperability Alliance. There's some projects like JNT. I actually have a video out about that one on my channel. That's essentially, it's not quite the same, but there's a lot of aspects that are similar where you can tokenize physical assets or securities with it. There's a couple other projects that are doing that whole tokenization thing. So, I mean, yeah, for 10 million market cap, it seems reasonable. Really, what you want to look at is it being listed on a better exchange than HitBTC. They need... Okay, well, they're launching their own exchange. Which is interesting. So I suspect when this comes around, you might see a pump, but that's, you know, at the end of the year. Although this might be interesting, open foreign-based cryptocurrency exchange. But this isn't anything new. This is what's new, launching the exchange that, you know, the smart contract options political betting. This is what I haven't seen before, so this is what you should be looking for as far as that goes. But yeah, I mean, you know, if it's a small percentage of your portfolio, I think that, you know, that's a totally reasonable bet to be making if you're just, you know, sticking it in cold storage and, you know, forgetting about it until the end of the year. That's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Yeah. Yeah, 3%. That's totally fine. Alrighty. Any coins that any of you guys would like me to look at during this stream, feel free to put them in the chat. I'm going to look at Twitter and see what people have said. That they want. So POA, THC, Link. I assume that this was you, Fawns. BTC. Alright. Sharder. Oh man. No, you can't really chart Sharder because, you know, it was just listed. And as far as I know, it actually took a pretty hefty dump pretty much as soon as it was listed, but I think that's what people were expecting anyway. Alright. Well, let's look at OCN to start. Everybody likes OCN. and I think it can give us some good insight on what's going on with alt season, right? So here is what I see with OCN. We had, let me delete some of this stuff. So we had this formation playing out here, this triangle, and that was this resistance here was at the the 236 fib of this entire thing. So our top here, our resistance that we were playing around with for a while from since the beginning of April was this 236 from the fib retracement of the whole price history here. And so we had this little brief breakout. We came back down, and so now we broke out and we found a top, a pretty clear resistance right here at the 340-ish satoshis. And so what I think that we're doing now is, this is very typical of breakouts, is you'll see a breakout, but it won't just immediately go to the moon. It will. It's more common for them to break out and then retest its resistance, which would turn into a support, and then it will finally start moving up. And what I'm seeing here as kind of this whole range is kind of going to be this resistance area. So it's now a support, right? So it broke out and it was resistance still here. This whole area, it was resistance here, but then we finally broke out. We came up to here, and now we're like retesting this. So I think that what we're gonna see is we're gonna see some kind of a similar pattern to what was playing out here on a smaller scale. So we'll see maybe one more retest of this before we break out. And the next level to be looking at is this 382 from the larger frame, which would bring us to somewhere over here. Long term, though, I'd love to see this at 1,000 sats, somewhere up at least to its all-time high. I suspect it will do better than that. But it could go either way. So that's entirely up to the alt season. One moment. Alrighty. So I think that's OCN. If you haven't entered yet, I'd say, I'd say your best bet would be to buy a little bit now. So I don't know if you guys know about laddering down your orders, right? But there's a general rule. It's like the 10, 20, 30, 40 rule, right? So you have 4 buy orders set with 10, 20, 30, and then 40% of your total planned entry, right? So you'd buy 10% here, and then you'd ladder down to your 40% would be right above this 295 support here. So you'd ladder your buys in this blue box at 10, 20, 30, and 40% increments. And then as far as exit, I'm holding this long term. I'm not selling here, but if you're a day trader, the 382 is the next logical target. And then in the future, each one of these, the 0.5, the 0.618, blah 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 blah, 786 are all valid places to look to take profits. So yeah, that is OCN for you guys. Alright, what is next? XVG. Nah. Actually, yeah, I'll probably be playing Fortnite later, Stridian, because I'd like to play Fortnite. Digibyte Electra Linda You want me to chart Linda? Isn't that some Cryptopia shitcoin? Let's look at Neo. I haven't looked at Neo in a while anyway. And what is Link? Alright, obviously I did something on Link. Oh. Yeah, I mean, we can look at this really quickly. This is a very basic. So this is, I guess I already had this drawn out from before. This is a bullish descending wedge. And so it broke out here, and this is very, I was just talking about this for OCN, right? So you break out, but it doesn't just immediately go to the moon, right? It breaks out. So look, we tested it as resistance. We came down a little bit, then we broke out, right? But then we retested again twice as support. So the same downtrend line now, resistance, broke out, you turn support, and now we're going up, right? And so we love our Fibonacci retracement. I gotta change this to white. And they're no joke, right? Look, we found resistance exactly at this 0.618, as we did here, and this was a 786, right? So if you want to enter at this point, I would say your best bet is to look at this area to start laddering your buys in from because this local high right here, this area could act as a support for it, and it looks like it might already be doing so. So if you could get a buy-in around here and then maybe some more down to the 0.5, that'd be great for Link. And then as far as targets, we all know you're looking at the 786 and 1. So yeah, it's kind of hard to look at volume for some of these coins on Binance, because they have some serious market making and bot activity going on, and you can kind of see by the way the volume just kind of spikes here, and like it's almost like flat. It was like completely organic here, right? Random spikes, blah blah blah, and then here it just all of a sudden becomes just like consistent flat top. And this is for, I think, almost every single coin on Binance. So it's clear that they have some kind of market making software that's out there providing liquidity and giving these coins volume, which is a good thing. This isn't a bad thing. It just kind of makes it a little bit difficult to get readings on volume, because if there's a small volume, the bots kind of make up for it. So it's hard to say. It's hard to say to do a volume analysis on it on Binance. But yeah, that's Link. I think it's a very easy chart to see there. So what's going on with Neo? Let's look at a 4-hour. Kind of looks a lot like KMD actually. All right. So the first thing I see is some kind of obvious resistance here, and some kind of trend support here. So if we're looking very long term, we might see some huge breakout over later this year in like the fall, if this pattern plays out. But that's like super long term, and lots of things could happen before then. We could break out way sooner. It's just a random idea. So the next thing that's easiest to do is to draw our Fibonacci retracements, from the top to the bottom. Whoops, I guess I missed it. Alright, to the bottom, right? And so this is pretty clean as well. We see this 382 acted as kind of resistance, and then support here. The 0.5 and the 618 are acting similarly. The 786 was kind of a support over here. Let's see what's going on here. Just randomly drawing lines right now to see if we can decipher what's going on. So maybe kind of a parallel channel going on here. It's hard to say exactly what's the Ichimoku cloud telling us. So yeah, we broke above the Ichi cloud. Support on the baseline. Pretty basic. Let's see. So we had all the moving averages crossover, right? And so this is like officially a bullish fan spread. Looks like locally we're seeing kind of support on somewhere between the 55 and the 21 EMAs. We could be looking at this kind of as a horizontal support. So it's a little vague, right? But here, and now it's acting as support here and here. So I mean, yeah, Neo looks good. I'd say your best bet for accumulation would be somewhere along this trend line here. So if you can get an order around 85, 0085 or 86 BTC, that would be ideal. But you could start entering and ladder down from where we are here at 90ish. And I think that expecting it to follow this channel for a bit, and then any breakout or breakdown of of this channel could be indicative of a longer term accumulation, or in the case of breaking to the upside, we could be seeing a test of the 786 and then the 1, and then finally you might start making new all-time highs on Neo. And a lot of it depends on what ICOs are doing, how they're doing, as well as just in general market sentiment. So it's not a ton to look at here. I think I gave all the suggested accumulation zones. A lot of people are just holding this long term because they believe in the project, which is perfectly reasonable. But if you're day trading or swing trading, you could be looking at the 786 for a target soon. If we go look at, let's look at like a 30-minute chart, just see what's kind of going on closer. So it's clear we spiked up, and now we're kind of in this accumulation distribution phase. This is probably more of a flat line, along, we already drew this support here, right? So we're kind of channeling between here. So if you're day trading, what you're looking for is to trade this channel. So you buy it a little bit above this support, and you sell it a little bit below. So I guess in this case you probably want to be looking at like, you want to be selling at I guess 93. So if the day trading is your thing, the profits that you could get from one of those trades is 5% ish. So yeah, there's Neo for you. Pretty basic. All right, Monkey, what are your bags that you want me to chart, huh? All of them, or just like one bag? I could chart your life, actually, guys. I can. It's a pretty simple chart if you want to have a look at how Monkey's life is. So you had this kind of going up phase, natural dip, just accumulation. We did pretty well, so we found a high up here, but his life kind of encountered a pretty strong resistance here. And I mean, from there it went pretty downhill. It pretty much went negative, almost straight down, just complete dump. Yeah, Monkey, things aren't looking very good for Monkey right now. So I'm kidding, Monkey's my boy. All right, I already charted OCN, Dean. So if you just look at the stream afterwards, you can see that. So at this point, I've done OCN, Link, and Neo. So people want Ncash. I can look at Ncash. in cash. Alright, 4 hours. Let's see what we got going on here. Alright. I see clear trend support right here. And on the opposite side, some kind of trend resistance here. We could try and make it parallel. Assume this was a little FOMO, and kind of have something like that, and that fits with this line as well. And so it looks like we just found a bounce off of here. I guess this right here was the recent FUD over their advertising, which, short term it took a dump from 55 to 40, but it appears to have recovered and stayed within its trend. Look at that volume right there. That's kind of nutty. So as far as basic, swing trading goes, you buy the support line and you sell this resistance line. That's a really simple, super simple trade for you to be making. As long as you're checking it, you just have your sell order set, and you adjust them as time goes on and the resistance moves up. But yeah, it's a very simple trade to be making accumulation wise. If we want to look at what's going on horizontally, I think that there's some kind of support here, support/resistance, and that's characterized by this action here, 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 and then all these wicks that kind of come up but don't pass right here. So some kind of support here. It looks like we're retesting it right now, or it's resistance in these cases. We broke out, now it's retesting as support, which would mean that it's a reasonable place to accumulate, also because we're so close to this bottom trend support as well. So if you're looking to enter Encash, now isn't a horrible time. You might be able to get the difference between 49 and 47, so like 5% better, maybe. Possibly not though, so I think you best bet at least entering some here if you're planning on entering, because if it goes to wherever it goes on the trend, it's a solid 30% right there. And a lot of people have much higher hopes for Encash. So, it could break out much more violently to past this trend resistance. But we will have to see about that, especially considering the FUD and their partnerships and whatever. So yeah, there is Encash for you. Let's look at Itchy Cloud. We found support in it. It flipped to green, which is a bullish sign. RSI, not too much that it's telling us. Still haven't figured out the DPO. We can look at what's going on with, let's see, Bollinger Bands, very low width. OBV, let's see. Not really telling us anything. It's kind of just confirming everything the price action's doing. I don't see any divergences here. So yeah, nothing too special as far as Encash goes. Just basic support resistance play between the price action. It's really all it boils down to. Alrighty. BNB, you say? Alrighty. BNB is a solid pick. Alrighty. Looks like I had one trend support line drawn in here from a while ago. Let's see what's going on. Alrighty. So the first thing I spot is this, right? Nice solid resistance over 187. And maybe something going along here, right? So maybe, I don't know, shorter term. I like that. So I can explain these. So, right, so this is a possibility, right? There's one confirmation here, one confirmation here. Um, so it's possible that we'll see some, maybe like you can get a buy-in around 14. See, because it makes sense, because look, there's some kind of horizontal support here. Um, so if you could get a buy-in along here, that'd be perfect. What I'm seeing here with this trend line is, it acted as support twice here, but then when we got up here, it broke through it, and now it's acting as resistance. And so it was kind of like bouncing between this trend resistance now and this horizontal support. And so, bounce, 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 retesting a bunch of times. And then, so now we're kind of accumulating here. So I'd say, your best bet is to try and, if you can get an order somewhere, 14, if even better, like, a little above 13. And what you're looking for is a breakout of this 18 level. And Binance has a lot coming out fundamentally. They're putting their decentralized exchange out. They're planning on having a lot more token utility with Binance. Than just the discount on the fees. But if you're trading with Binance, having just a little bit of Binance, BNB, just to have the cost of your fees is actually that's a really good thing. So it's good to just have even a little bit of this for its actual token use of giving you discounts on Binance fees. Because for the first year you use the account, it gives you a 50% discount, which is pretty awesome. So yeah, I think that's the basics of BNB. Maybe if we go look shorter. I mean, nothing really interesting. This doesn't look like anything interesting is kind of going on here. We can look at HE Cloud on the 4-hour. So obviously there's a clear, the HE provided a clear resistance here. So we broke through, and then it came up, retested this HE Cloud. So I guess the next bullish step would be if we can break out past this leading span here. That would be near the baseline. That's what you're looking for as far as Ichimoku charting goes. The moving averages, so they're kind of bunched up here, right? It's moving towards a bearish cross, but until both of these lines are underneath the 200, so the 2155 cross below the 200, it doesn't necessarily mean we're bearish. And we might actually see a little bit of a crossover if we if we come back and retest this support here, because we did have a bearish crossover for a bit. Well, actually, the blue never went below the pink, right? So it never actually went fully bearish as far as these exponential moving averages go. But we see it happen fairly frequently, where there'll be a small fake out of the MA towards a bearish cross, but it quickly switches back. So it's just a confirmation indicator for the most part. But yeah, that's what I see on BNB. So yeah. All right. Let's see. Who is Eagle Man? Do I know you? Oh, I see. You were talking to Crypto Biggie. I thought you were like giving me your number. I was like, what? Why would I give you my number? Okay. All right. Let's make sure I get something from Twitter. I looked at Link. THC. That's the Bittrex weed coin, isn't it? Yeah. Well, this certainly bottomed out. I like to see the little 420 pump going on right there. Of course, you know, look at that 420 volume. Alrighty. This is kind of ugly. Look at that. This is... What kind of price change is this from here to here? 20x. That's kind of crazy, isn't it? So I think we're at some kind of resistance right here. I say that because of this right here. You know, that seems like a confirmation. And then in here, we're kind of seeing this going on. You know, we're seeing this triangle form on a lot of coins. Something, you know, something along these lines. Some kind of horizontal support here. And I don't know anything fundamentally about this other than that it has something to do with weed, which is a growing industry. So it's definitely not, you know, bad to invest in this kind of thing. I just don't know how legitimate of a project it is, you know, in the weed industry. You know, but as far as plays that you can make on this, let's see. So we're playing nicely above this Ichimoku. Yeah, so really all we're looking at is price action at this point. Volume's kind of petered off here, which, you know, is pretty normal. I suspect that when we see some kind of breakout of this formation, that we'll see, you know, and this could be entirely bullshit. This could just end up being a parallel channel. This is just random movement, and you know, this pattern isn't really actually a triangle. So, you know, you could easily see us bouncing between these two, which is, you know, you can make pretty nice swing trades on that if you know, buy this and sell this. It's 30% just bouncing between there. And then your breakout buy area is, if you haven't and you just want to make sure it's a breakout, you know, you want to buy somewhere, you know, maybe right when it hits here, you buy it again, maybe a little bit past it, just to make sure that it's actually gonna not bounce back down again. But yeah, it's kind of hard for these low cap and low volume coins doing TA, because, you know, one guy market buying a Bitcoin, you know, will completely throw everything off. So if you look at like the daily volume on this is only 20 Bitcoins. Like, doing TA on this shit is futile a lot of the time. So yes. All right, I will do one more. What one more? Let's see. What's going on here? POA. Let's do POA. POA. Alrighty. So some kind of something there going on with that trend support. Ichimoku's not really telling us anything. Maybe some kind of parallel thing going on here. So this is pretty similar to Ancash, quite frankly. You know, just trade the channel, and, you know, sell the breakdown, buy the breakout. You know, this could be some kind of I wouldn't be surprised if we actually see a correction at this point. I don't know how big it will be, but as far as Elliott waves go, there's a pretty clear 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 going on here. And this obeys all the rules. There's no significant candle closing below, so the 4 and the 1 don't really overlap. There's a clear, support here. Wave 3 is the longest. So, expecting some kind of ABC correction, so this could be our A, this could be our B, and this could be our C, and and that could be it. We could keep going along the channel. That's totally possible. More likely though, you see a correction, down to a 4. So we could see another retest of this resistance turn support here, which would be a great place to enter POA. I don't know anything about POA really fundamentally, so I can't tell you whether or not the project's actually good. But yeah, that's POA for you. Pretty basic. Someone said OCN is pumping. What's going on with OCN? Oh wow, yeah, look at that. It just dildoed right on through. So 30, 36. Yeah, that's how those things work. When it breaks out, it broke out for good this time. So yeah, nice. My TA worked. So yeah, so I guess as far as things go, then your big target here is this 382. So 426. Are you saying what are the odds that if I do TA on ICX it will pump? I guess we have to find out now, don't we? For science. Right. Alright, so we had this big cup and handle, all those shenanigans playing out. Let's see. So it looks like we kind of choked and dumped that down below here. We gotta look at a shorter time frame. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I remember talking about this with people in the dojo earlier today. I don't know if there were any catalysts that made it go from 49 to. Okay, guys, chill first of all, because 49 to 45 is what to 46. Okay, I guess it went down to 45, which is 10%, which is like not bad at all. So I wouldn't be freaking out too much about this. As far as TA goes, I can't really see any pattern going on here. Unfortunately, I don't really see what. There's no support really or anything anywhere close to here. This was our support resistance at 47.5. Let's see. Maybe something like this, I guess. This is possible. Trend support going on. And so we're just retesting this, and then it could go back up, which is I guess that's what people want, right? I mean, on an equal. Yeah, see, in this cup, there isn't really any support. The only real support I'd be seeing if it broke out would be like this. But around 38, which is like 15% further down. Let's see, from here to here, or 20%, so another 20% drop. But I mean, if ICX dumped 20%, that'd be pretty dire. So yeah, I'm not really sure. We could be looking at that trend support. But it's hard to say. It's a pretty ugly place we're in right here. Not as far as it's like bad for the future. It's just kind of hard to decipher a pattern. So yeah, that's really all I can tell you. There's nothing very interesting going on the volume. So yeah, RSI. Well, maybe down channel. Who knows? RSI is always a little weird. I don't know. It's Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to do some TA on this. There's nothing really very clear, as opposed to some of the other ones you've looked at, unfortunately. But that's TA. You can sometimes you can see things, sometimes you don't. Uh, but that's the way it is, unfortunately. Alrighty, well, I think that I'm gonna end the TA there. Thank you guys all so much for tuning in. I would really appreciate if you throw this a like, subscribe to me if you haven't on YouTube. I'll try and be doing, one or two of these live TA things a week for you, so you guys can learn my thought process and be able to do some of this stuff on your own. Obviously, it's very clear. My favorite things to look at are just basic support, resistances, trend lines, the price action. Um, Fibonacci levels are so important. Then you can look at Ichimoku, and you can look at the moving averages. RSI is another great one. So yeah, those are all. I'm fairly certain that I know I've already released some educational material for Bitcoin Bravado, but I think that um, I'll have more coming out in video form, so specific lessons on how to use some of these things. So you can look forward to that sometime in the future. But until then, thank you so much, guys, for watching. I hope that I was able to help you, and I will see you all sometime in the future. Adios.